So good afternoon, good evening actually, but good afternoon wherever you are from. Good evening from where I speak in Bomi County, Tubmanburg. It's about 10 minutes heading up 7 o'clock, and we are just witnessing government officials exiting the room where the cabinet meeting has been happening for the past few hours. So we started since about 10 or 11 o'clock this morning. As we speak now, we are getting signals of the exit from the hall of some government officials. His Excellency will also exit the hall in any moment from now. And several issues were discussed in that room. And with having them coming up, we're going to see if we can have a word or two with His Excellency, the President, or any other government official that is available. But I think we hope to speak to the President. So if you can see there, we're having signals of His Excellency coming out. We have the Minister of Transport out here. We have the Minister of Public Works coming up, Minister of Youth and Sports. We have the Minister of Agriculture, the Minister of Internal Affairs, and we have the Deputy Minister coming up, the Minister of Information coming out there. And they have been in that place for more than 5-6 hours. So we went there first in the morning, and they came out for lunch. Then they went back in the evening, and now they're coming out around 10 minutes to 7 o'clock. And so we are hoping to have a word or two with.
So now we are being informed.
We're being informed that the Minister of Information will take questions from us. So if we're doing so, we have to do it under them. We have to do it under them.
Right after then we can join other officials of government.
Okay, so yeah,
But we can now start.
we see we can take a few questions from the Honorable Luther.
Thank you. Yeah. What is your take on this if retreat here in Bomi County?
I think today has been very important for us, especially speaking of job creation in the Liberian economy. That's critical, and agriculture being one of the sectors that create jobs, we thought it was important for the economy.
Mr. Minister, I wanted to ask you precisely about job creation. President Boubacar take in the arrest agenda. Of course, agriculture is a key component, and it's obvious that in cabinet meetings like these, issues surrounding agricultural advancement in Liberia will be brought on the table. What were some of the key issues that were discussed about the country's agriculture sector in this cabinet meeting that you want to tell us?
Today's section was focused on the prospect for creating jobs in the agriculture sector. So we tried to lay out some of the areas we think we could create jobs, looking at commercializing our agriculture sector, looking at agro processing, looking at how we expand mechanization. So these are areas we think when we make the appropriate investment, we're going to be creating more jobs for our people. In fact, we have targeted to create more jobs temporarily for our people. Over 50,000 jobs will be created next year temporarily in the agriculture sector to get jobs to our young people in the rural communities.
Was Mr. President impressed with the work of the Ministry of Agriculture?
Well, I think he's impressed, but it's left with the president to say that.
Yeah.
But I think he's satisfied with what we are doing in the agriculture sector. That's what we can say about it.
Okay. Okay, that will do for us, Mr. Minister. Thank you very much.
So that was
the
Minister of Agriculture. And now we're hoping to see if we can get the Minister of Information to talk with us.
We'll have him quickly before we continue to talk to other officials of government. You see him there. You also see the LBS Director General Eugene Lame Fangon there. Honorable Minister, my name is Anthony Williams. I'm from ELBC. You've just left a crucial cabinet meeting with key issues on the table that were being discussed. Do you mind bringing us up to speed on some of the discussions that were held in there?
Thank you. There were many issues that we were to discuss, but quite frankly, we did not go 50% of what we had to do because most of the discussion took a lot of time. So we basically look at the issue of job creation and to also take note of what we've done in terms of job creation. And from what we discussed at the cabinet, a lot of jobs have been created and we have the information. We eventually provide it at our subsequent media engagement. But at the same time, we thought to zero in on some deliberate steps or actions that we can take to enhance what we've already doing. Because job creation, in many countries around the world, they will always give you the unemployment data year in, year out, because it's a continuous process. So while we've established that we're doing great in terms of job creation, we know that we also got to do quite more. So what are some of the additional things we're supposed to do to ensure that we can create more jobs? Those are some of the things we discussed. But then interestingly also, we spent some time on infrastructure, mainly with regards to road and electricity. Both sectors are doing great. And it will surprise you to know that consistent with the A8RD, we are supposed to do around 400 plus kilometers of roads. But the statistic given shows that all the road works we're working on that we sure will be completed is over 700 plus kilometers. So that's one sector that is performing very, very much. So what more LEC needs to do towards our continuous enhancement of electricity, we discussed that, what more we need to do in terms of road. But in terms of road, you'll be glad to know that we've taken some very strategic decisions. We're going to start paving the road from Medekoma coming towards Vonjiba. Most of the time we're paving road, we come from one side and going straight up front. Meaning where the road is in Salaye, we're supposed to just continue for that, keep going until we reach Vonjiba and go Medekoma. But no, we're going to start from both ends. And one of the decisions we took is that on all of the corridors, the long corridors, we have several companies deployed so that the road work can be fast-tracked, because we want to make sure that we connect the entire country before 2029. So that's where we were, and also we have to talk about our role at the UN as a non-permanent member of the Security Council. Because as of January, we'll be fully seated. Right now, recruitment of the people who will perform there has been going on. We need to do all the preparatory things to ensure that our team is deployed in New York for the next 2.5 years. So the foreign minister was also able to bring us up to speed as to where we are, what we need to do, and what more can be done. One crucial issue we're supposed to discuss we could not hold today is on drugs. On the question of drug use, or on drug trafficking and all of that, we couldn't do it. We were to also discuss the national budget. The finance minister submitted the budget, and this was an opportunity to discuss the implication of the budget with the cabinet. Time didn't allow us to do it, so we also didn't do that. And that's why I said we did not go 50% or over 50% of what we needed to do. So it is already been decided that in the not too distant days to come, we'll hold another cabinet meeting so that we can exhaust the agenda.
So, Minister, during the president's introductory statement, he mentioned one thing, mainly surrounding PR. And he says, in a nutshell, that the government is doing a lot, but sometimes putting up these billboards to indicate what government is doing mostly is lacking. What is the Ministry of Information and its other line ministries doing to ensure that what the government is doing reaches the population and make sure that government's work is all over the country?
It's doing a lot. You worked at the executive mansion. I said you tell me you're not doing anything. But I believe you're doing great in communicating government projects to the people. The Ministry of Information is doing likewise. Billboards, some people may not read. We can counter what the president says, just an advice. And if we have the funding for it, we'll do it. But I think what you do on your live, what people do on their different radio stations, everybody can hear it. Not everybody will look on a billboard to be able to read. However, there's a segment of the population that can read. So if we have funding for that, I'm sure when the executive manager get funding for it, your office will put more billboard. Left with me, you give me money, I put billboard all over the country. So it's just an observation that, we need to enhance some of the things, but it's also realized that these things come with funding. You can't play magic to do it. It's not creation to say, let there be light and there was light. So when we have funding and that is an area of concern, we do it. Maybe as I imagine, got to get the first 10 people there. You're laughing.
Okay, Mr. My name is Lois Stevie and I'm from Punch FM.
Yeah.
Okay, you talk about the job creation. And a lot of people out there, a lot of potential people out there, when it comes to job, they say that the government, they have already people in the system. What should some of the things that you guys put in things of transparency for people, getting those jobs that you guys are trying to develop for the young people?
Everywhere around the world, there are people who you meet in the system. You don't bring a government to power, then you run behind the other people either because they're not in your party or they're not something. But there will always be opportunity for new jobs. And when those new jobs come, we have to be transparent about it. We'll always be transparent about it. All right? Most of it, not even within the purview of the government. For example, we got to start from most of the concessionaires, ArcelorMittal and other places, that in the last 2 years, they've employed over additional 7,000 people. We didn't influence that. They have their own procedures that people have to follow. I think it's just a matter of information. When you know that jobs are somewhere, you apply and you compete. And I'm sure the competition is real because people want performance. So it's not about they interview you when they believe you qualify, they employ you. We cannot dictate to these entities who to employ because they know what they're looking for. And when they set their standards and you comply with it and they deem you to be qualified, they get it. So yeah, job creation issue is very transparent. Even at administrative level where we have vacancy here, there, I as a minister can't employ anybody at administrative information. It has to go through the CSA. The whole process rests with the CSA. It's competitive, it's clear, it's honest.
Minister, before we leave you, you might want to...
I think somebody else want to ask the question.
Yeah. I want to ask.
Yeah.
My name is Yubini Masale. I want to know when the president said there are people in government that he does not know, and there are people who recommend these guys. So is the president frustrated in their performance?
If the president is frustrated in the performance, then nobody will fire the person. You'll be frustrated in somebody's performance and they stay there. What the president was trying to say is that those who had the chance to recommend people, you have a greater role in terms of accountability. You got to make sure that the people you recommend, say maybe you're a minister of this, and you recommended one or two of your deputies. All he's saying, the people you recommended, you know them, they should do their job. Of course, if you don't do the job, which by extension would mean the entity is not doing its job, the president has the authority to take action.
Honorable Minister. Princess Kosiba arrived for KMTV and that of the closing argument. You listened to the foreign minister during her deliberation. How prepared is Liberia to serve the council?
You were inside?
So you listen.
Oh, you mean I listen? Oh, we prepare. Things are moving. We've been recruiting some of the individuals who got to go there. We're mobilizing the resources we need to have our team fully deployed. We make good use of the time we have at the Security Council. And I can tell you, the country, one of the things you were not in, but one of the things the foreign minister said is that we started benefiting already. Just from being on the Security Council, people are reaching us to us. People are giving us support financially. In fact, what we need to spend to be on the Security Council, we've gotten over 10 times those amount already in commitments. That's why it means to be on the UN Security Council. So we take it seriously and we're doing all we can to fully represent the African continent and the rest of the world in the Security Council.
All right, Honorable Minister, a quick one. Can you please give updates on this 280 yellow machine? Liberians are concerned and they want to know.
So in the next few days, we are concluding a plan where the vice president who's in charge will engage the media. I am arranging that engagement, and the vice president will announce where we are with the yellow machine. We thought to do it that way because he was in charge. We don't want to undercut him. So I cannot. There are two things we were in charge of, and he will speak to the media about those: the yellow machines and the press control task force that the president set up. So let's wait for that. Thank you.
Yeah, finally from my end, Minister, the president did stress the importance of doing fast funding. That is the engagements, the diaspora engagements, the foreign trips. The task force was set up to, go after the meetings and negotiations and agreements signed. So how far is the task force in, going back to the findings and the agreements so that Liberians can start benefiting from the foreign trips?
You already start benefiting from foreign trips. How you think we're on the verge of getting MCC? How you think we got a signature stuff of 200 million that will be impacting the budget? How you think we got renewed commitment and now you see the overpass bridge being built? They were stopped during the CDC regime. It's international travel that brought it back. How you think the FBS that you work with, your broadcast studio, is being completed? It was based on international trip. How you think we having the reference laboratory at the 14th Military Hospital now being concluded? International trip. So we don't make international trip for pleasure. We make international trip to make the case for the country and to attract the international actors here to help us because we are a country in need.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable
Thank you.
Minister. And that was the Honorable Minister. So we'll see if we can get a few words also from Mr. Fagon. Mr. Fagon is here.
It's okay. My name is Godfrey Badukonsa. I report for Report 231 Online Media Network. You were highly praised by the President in his opening statement about LPS. How does that come to you?
Well, it comes with pride, but more so I work with a team. And I think I want to give the honor to the technical team of the Liberian Broadcasting System that we managed to carry out maximum progress in minimum time, keeping the same budget. Imagine, I have always said to the Liberian people that LBS will never be the same. But I want members of the media to know that even though LBS is making substantial progress, the budget of LBS since we took over has been the same. So the question then remains, how is it that you are making maximum progress in minimum time with the same budget, but LBS is not the same? It means that there are people working and they're not complaining. It means that the kind of leadership that we provide seem to be unmatched. It simply means that we're using the resources for the purpose intended, and that those that work at the system are committed to making sure their service is unmatched. So again, the praise and honor goes to the system, but specifically to the gallant men and women that are the technicians that continue to make headways.
Working under minimum budget but still bringing out fruitful results. This obviously means there's need for more. But Mr. Director General, with all of the efforts that you are making, you care to bring us up to speed on where these efforts are taking effect, because the President was precise that he's impressed that you are taking television services across to other counties in the country. But there are other efforts that you are making besides bringing television services. You care to bring us up to speed?
Well, LBS is not the same, because when I look at Vashta, I look at Rachel, I look at you, all of you have made foreign trips. And this is management no longer make foreign trips. You guys travel. You guys are making coverages. Some of your colleagues right now are in Senegal. Some came from Malaysia the other day. The other came from the U.S. and you went to Great Britain. Things are not the same, but you care to bring us up to speed is what you said. We have a television and a radio complex that is nearing completion. A month from now, it will be completed. We're constructing 2 additional substations in Grand Cape Man County, Robertsport to be precise, in Saklipi, Nimba County to be precise. The 2 are at roof level. In fact, the other one is roof and is being furnished with doors and windows. When we took over, radio was not all around the country. We were using 1,500 watt transmitter. Now we're capable of broadcasting directly from the nation's capital throughout the country on a 10,000 kilowatt transmitter. And that's not from China, that is what we had. All of our substations are up and functional. We moved from 3 vehicles to now 11 in our fleet. We managed to bring on board on our payroll over 100 contractors. So you and I can agree, not one day they've demonstrated that they haven't taken pay. We get 60% of our budget from the government. The other 40 we have to source. As I speak to you, there's a lot going on. We will talk about it in time. But with television in Vonjaman Lofa County, television in Bomi, Tubmanburg Bomi County, television in Zweju, Grand Jide County, television in Grand Bassa County, we're judging between Margibi and Bong to install television before the holidays. We are on course. Look at the theater that people said was a gambling casino. They became confused because of the state-of-the-art equipment we put in there worth over $500,000. But that was in collaboration with a business. That's what we do. We're supposed to do business with entities to source. But it was not a gambling center. It was not a casino. It was by no means somewhere where ordinary people could come and buy a ticket or play games. But again, it's the politics of the day. We're going to carry out the mandate of the president, and His Excellency is keen on bringing radio and television to the Liberian people before his tenure ends. And I'm sure that we are well on course. In fact, we are well ahead of schedule. Maybe by 2026, 2027, we should be done with the mandate completely.
Thank you very much, Director.
My pleasure.
Thank you. That was the Director General of the Liberian Broadcasting Corporations there. And so we heard from the Minister of information. We heard from the Minister of Agriculture and now from the Minister of, from the Director General of LBS. Some of the things they spoke about, according to the Minister of Information, they did not even go 50% of what they were to discuss today. And that's because time couldn't permit them and because there was a lot of information. And now, as we speak, His Excellency the President is still in there, and it's 10 minutes after 7 o'clock. He's still in there having meetings, though some of the ministers have come out and they're on their way, but His Excellency the President is still in there having meetings and having some tete-a-tete with some other government officials. And this speaks to the workaholic nature of His Excellency the President. He's not just sitting, but he's trying to listen to what reports are being brought to him. He's trying to get information regarding the state of affairs of the country and other initiatives that the government is undertaking. He's trying to get reports from agencies, from government ministries, from corporations about what the government is doing relative to providing jobs. And as I say, creating jobs was one of the major issues on their agenda of today's cabinet meeting. Creating jobs. And His Excellency, from the beginning, if I can just run you down to some of the things that were said, spoke about relocating the fire service. As he said, the office that the fire services presently occupy does not look like an office of the fire service. That place is too congested, it's small, and it's not in a central location. So he wants that fire service office to be relocated, and so they're looking for somewhere. Another thing that was spoken about was infrastructure. Very soon, hopefully before the year comes to an end or early next year, His Excellency should be holding, as he already has announced, the National Infrastructure Conference. That is going to be discussing issues relative to infrastructure in Liberia. How can these infrastructure be brought up? How can these buildings, we have a lot of government buildings, a lot of government infrastructures that are dilapidated, they're in bad shape, and what can be done to ensure that we develop the country infrastructure-wise. He also spoke about drugs and how that security apparatus, especially the DEA, should not use their badges as a form of hunting. He is saying that the badge you have is for you to do the work, show result. Don't do it to just, assault citizens or do anything that you think you can do with your badge, and do everything you do must be aligned with the laws of Liberia. He also spoke about our present plan on the towards the Security Council seat in the United States, where the government will be taking its seat next year. And the Minister of Information mentioned that in his statement, that plans are in place, the recruitment has started, and we are getting the requisite and qualified individuals to work in that area. And so, again, thank you. We are going to see if we will have His Excellency come out, but if he does come out in time, we might remain here to get a few words from him, because it's quite unusual for the cabinet to be in such a meeting. I mean, this is the first of its kind outside the capital. They've had several cabinet meetings in Monrovia, but this, under his administration, is the first of its kind. While other presidents have had cabinet meetings in other parts of Liberia, but for the president, this is his first out of Monrovia. And so again, if you're following, we are in Tubmanburg, Bomi County. Since this morning, there have been engagements with the cabinet team. The president put together his cabinet, and also part of what he spoke about this morning was he praised the LBS boss, as you heard, speaking about bringing television to the people. He praised the LEC boss for distribution, for the constant current electricity that is in Monrovia and other parts. Presently, as we speak, there's expansion of poles being installed on the highway towards the RIA, because that place is actually dark at night, and so something is being done about that. He spoke about doing more towards agriculture, and the Minister of Agriculture also spoke about that. Job creation was actually paramount on the discussions that were being held today, and so we are still out here at His Excellency's residence in Tubmanburg and see if we can get a few words from the President. But if not, I'm going to go off for a while and we shall return. So keep following for more details regarding what is being done here today. Thank you, and have a great evening. If you're in Liberia, if you're out of Liberia, good afternoon, good morning, and have a great day.